Alrighty, team. So today's been a pretty big day, fielding all the questions essentially around the latest version of ChatGPT, GPT-4 O, not 0 O. No, that's for Omni model, Omni channel, essentially all things visual, audio, text, speech, everything in this world that we currently sense, including emotion. So I'm going to dive into a couple of examples of how we're using ChatGPT ourselves. Before I get into it, I'll show some videos. But essentially, this is what you can do today. Now, in 2 to 3 weeks from now, if obviously having an Aussie accent based here in Australia, we don't get access to this to these usually straight away. It's usually 2 or 3 weeks later we'll start to get access to the latest and greatest. But for now, let's just dive into it, and I'll give you a couple of examples, and then I'll run through what I'm doing as well.
Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Miana.
Hi, Alex and Miana. Nice to meet you both. How's it going?
It's pretty cool. We're trying to figure out what should we play. Do you have any suggestions?
Absolutely. How about a classic game of rock, paper, scissors? It's quick, fun, and you don't need any.
Great. Can you count us in and sound like a sportscaster?
And
The first really cool thing around this is that she interrupted the conversation. So up until now, you've had to either press the screen or press a button within the ChatGPT iPhone app, most likely Android as well. Now you can just have a general conversation and interrupt it on the fly.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ultimate showdown of the century. In this corner, we have the dynamic duo, Alex and Miana, ready.
You'll see there that the technology has also understood who the different characters are, so physically the different people within the screen, and you can interact, and it's come up with its own persona around what does an event or a game show or something like this look like from its knowledge
To
base.
throw down an
Okay,
hilarious
just count
cover-
us in.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, shoot.
Now, show your hands. What did you pick?
Who won?
Would you look at that? It's a tie.
Okay, let's
that
do
was
it
a
again.
close- Round 2, here we go. Get ready. And 3, 2, 1, shoot. Let's see those hands.
Who won?
And it's another tie. You
Okay,
two
let's
are-
do it again.
All right, third time's a charm. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, shoot. Let's see those picks.
Who won?
And we have a winner. Miana's scissors cut through Alex's paper. Great game, you two.
Pretty cool.
What's cool about that is that the camera, the visual representation, is obviously assessing what's happening around, I guess, the conversation. In this case, it's just a simple game like rock, paper, scissors, but it knows what that is, it knows the context, it knows the different people, the personalities, and also who's a winner in that situation. That's a super simple example, but pretty damn awesome if you ask me. So then we go into more of what practically what can you do.
OpenAI invited myself and my son Imran here to try out some of their new technology. And so we're curious about how good it might be at tutoring someone in math on Khan Academy. So let's get it started. It's loading up. All right, make sure it can see our screen.
Actually, in this format,
Hello there.
I can't.
I'm here with my son, and I'd love you to tutor him on this math problem, but don't give him the answer.
So this is the app version that we currently don't have access to, but this has been rolled out on Macs. And so we don't have one on Windows just yet, but they're essentially what they're showing there is the iPad, and it's got the Mac program installed, the ChatGPT program, and he's clicked the share screen button, which means visually looking at what he's doing on the screen. So so you can literally have an interaction and a conversation about everything you're doing on the screen, and throughout the API through the back end, you can then interact the conversation with the actual results. So not too far in the distant future, you'll be able to speak to the computer and it will be able to do all the actions for you without you physically doing it. Just absolutely insane.
You can ask questions and nudge him in the right direction, but I really want to make sure he understands it himself. And he's here in the room, so you can talk to him directly.
Of course, I'd be happy to help. Let's look at the problem together. Can you first identify which sides of the triangle are the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse relative to angle alpha?
All right, so I'm pretty sure this is the angle alpha right here, right?
Perfect. That's correct. Now, looking at the triangle, which side do you think is the hypotenuse?
Really,
Remember the hypotenuse?
I'm not totally sure. I think it might be this one, but I really am not sure. This side AC.
You're close. Actually, side AC is called the adjacent side to the angle alpha. The hypotenuse is the longest side of a right triangle and is directly opposite the right angle. Can you
So I won't run that through in full, but essentially what is happening there is that interaction, that conversation. This is obviously a tutoring example, but it means that you can do that live interaction on the fly, which is pretty damn cool, if you ask me. Alrighty, so now we're going to dive into a quick live example of ChatGPT. So I'm just going to bring up a web browser. Alrighty, so this is just the ChatGPT web browser, and this is just the 4o version that we have access to. So the cool thing about the latest version is you can firstly upgrade all your chats. So in here, any chat that you go to, you can literally upgrade to the latest version. You just got to change it to the latest version in here. So from 3.54 and then 4o before you can ever do that. So now you can do that live. And we're just going to go, who am I? What I love about this latest version is it's got what we call memory. So it remembers everything about you, who you are, what you do, obviously after you teach it, and then you can dive into some amazing examples and use it in your business straight away. So I'm just going to say, can you please provide me with some detail? So I just said, who am I? It knows who I am. It even has my personal website here. Can you provide me an About Me page with some information so I can put on my website? It'll then go and pull all the information, the different companies I'm involved in, even all my social media handles, and these are links that literally go to my social media, and I can copy and paste that straight away. Pretty straightforward, pretty basic. What I'm going to say now is I'm going to use this from a sales tool, but essentially I want to target businesses. So I'm saying we're now ready to take on some more clients. I now want to target some organizations locally to me. And so it goes, great, I know who you are. See, it's this memory that I talked about before. It's saying this memory, I'll scroll up a bit so you understand. This memory is updated. So these are my memories, and this is essentially, you can as you're going through and teaching ChatGPT, you can now update the memory so then it knows what you're doing. All right, so I'm going to say I want to define my target client. Now, this is if you haven't already got an ideal avatar built out, you can then define it. Well, see, it's got a glitch in it. It keeps repeating the same pattern again. I did see this happen earlier today as well, which is this is the joys of millions of users happening at once. So let's go copy this, start a new chat. Okay, so if you haven't defined your avatar already, this essentially gives you all prompts around it. And if you haven't gone to this yet, you can actually say, rather than asking 1 million questions, you can just say, please ask me one question at a time, and so I can answer. And then it will say, great, here's the first question. Then you go, what's the next question? What's the next question? If you've already defined it, I'll just say, ignore, move on. I'll just say my ideal avatar is a manufacturing 20, 30, 300 staff, been in business for 10 plus years. my local area. Cool. What can we help with? Let's just say AI automation. So this is like building up the memory to what your organization is, who it is, what essentially what you're going to be focused on. So that's one way of building up memory for your business, and so then you can get really specific. Essentially, sitting with a marketing coach or a strategist, or obviously going to put some thought process into this, but you can get really detailed around everything to your business, right? So let's skip forward now. So we've got all that in memory. I'm going to say, can you please target 10 businesses in my local area? Let's go do some searching and go, here's some businesses that we can target. And you'll see here, which this hasn't really happened before, it's even pulled out the information, the industry, the key contacts, and LinkedIn. And if we're lucky, the LinkedIn will then also take us to their LinkedIn profile, so we can connect with them and send them a message and whatever else we might want to do. This hasn't been this good up until now. So let's say 5. Let's target 5. I could write it out if I wanted to. Please write me a LinkedIn message to target them. So it's picking out the information, it's diving into the detail, and then it allows you to really focus on it. You'll see here that some don't have key information. So it's picked out Sheffield Airport Corporation, who is the best contact for us to target. If you don't know, you can keep digging and digging and digging and digging until you do get the answer. Essentially, you can just use it as your personal assistant to really find out the information. The general, here you go. Solution would be Heather Matz, the general manager. Always do your fact checking just to double check. LinkedIn, please. Whether you use LinkedIn or any other outreach scenario. Sorry if you're watching this, Heather. I'm just picking this. It literally just came up, so looks like it's not picking up the LinkedIn information directly from here. But at least we've got information. We can probably do some Googling ourselves. I won't get it right every single time, but what I found just in this latest release, it's getting pretty damn close to doing this off the shelf. And so up until now, to do all this, we can totally do it. But we've had to use backend APIs, integrations, build all the custom development behind the scenes. I literally just did that live within 3-4 minutes within the latest version of ChatGPT. Like, that's just insane. It just hasn't been able to do this today. I didn't want to go into too much detail and share too much of other people's information, but within a few conversations, a few prompts, you can really get detailed in your organization to essentially do anything. Like, do you want to build spreadsheets? I always call on Dean, my co-founder, all things spreadsheet related. Don't need to ask him anything related to spreadsheets anymore. I just use ChatGPT to analyze spreadsheets, create graphs, do analysis, whatever I need to do, it does it all for me. So if there's something in your business you'd love to have solved, I'm more than happy to jump on a live, dive into the detail, and really pull this out for you, because there's some amazing opportunities just using the free version off the shelf as it is today to do this for you. Anyway, guys, thanks very much, and I can't wait to see what's around the corner. I can't wait to get my hands on the latest version in the next 2 to 3 weeks once we have it here in Australia. All right, cheers, guys.